School District Spotlight, sponsored by Go Public Gulf Coast.
Welcome back to Great Day Houston. Our School District Spotlight series this morning is highlighting educators going above and beyond to help stimulate a student's mind, preparing them for careers one day. Please welcome Dr. Elizabeth Fagan with the Humble Independent School District, along with Phyllis Sams and Takia Jackson with ALIEF Independent School District. Good morning. One of the things that you all are doing in Humble ISD is music to a lot of parents' ears who struggle with children who have learning differences. You all understand that the way students learn is not always the same.
That's right. We really work toward a personalized educational opportunity for every child. That's definitely our goal. We want every one of them to be engaged and motivated to learn.
Yeah, and let me point out, this is in public school. A lot of times we think we have to go to private school to get something like that. This is in public school.
Absolutely.
And so when you say how kids learn, give us an example of some of the programs that you do and some of the things you do differently.
Well, our teachers are really innovative, and they create opportunities for students to connect things that they really are interested in with things that we need them to learn. So recently at Groves Elementary, they connected Toy Story and Buzz Lightyear to space and planets and all of those kind of things that students need to learn so that they understand the science of it, but also the engagement is there with the Toy Story connection.
Yeah, the power of play and engagement, as you said. Okay, and authentic connected learning. There's a lot to be said for that phrase in itself.
Absolutely. Well, we know that the brain learns so much better in an authentic scenario than it does in a disconnected one. Movement's important. The opportunity for students to see the big picture and then to learn the parts along the way is much more powerful long-term learning than just the segments alone.
Yeah, because I know it sometimes in classes I would get confused and I would start memorizing things. I just memorized it. I didn't learn it. There's a difference between memorization and learning, and then being able to go back to a tactile or audio or whatever experience that you had that you remember.
Absolutely. The ability to transfer that learning to something new really is important, that you really understand it, not that you just memorized the information and gave it back.
Also knowing what students you have. Like education at its core, I think has been the same for a long time, but what has changed is our population. And so you all know what you have. Students, you have noticed a large population of homeless veterans and all types of things that you would do, knowing what who those kids' parents are.
Absolutely. Well, we have students who are actually building tiny homes through their architecture, engineering, and several other content areas for homeless veterans.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so that kind of hands-on thing, as
Yes.
we mentioned. All right, in ALIEF ISD, you have a veterinary science program. Who knew in public school you have a veterinary science program? We used to think you had to wait for college for that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All
yes.
right.
So we're giving students a lot of hands-on training because we know college isn't made for everybody. So we're actually letting them get the ability to learn things hands-on and then also test to get a certification, so they go out and they can be a certified vet assistant when they graduate. So they have a diploma and a certification.
And Takia, for you're sitting there in your, like, even the power of putting on what looks like would be your daily uniform, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you decide to take part in this part of the program?
Because after high school, I want to go on to be a vet. So by going through the program, I know for sure that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Oh, it's like a trial run, right? All right, and who's that you have with you?
I have Foxy.
You have Foxy with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is so cool to be able to do that. Like I said, trial run before. How many times have kids actually graduated from college and thought, I don't want to do this?
Yes, I know, exactly.
Yeah, and so
this prepares them and prevents them from spending thousands and thousands of dollars on college education and to get to the end and say, oh, I don't think I want to do this now. So.
What have you found out about this by going through this program? The things that is there anything new that you didn't expect to be part of this career someday?
Through this program, mostly at school, we only get small animals. But through this program, I've learned that I want to work with livestock animals rather than small animals.
Okay, watch out, Houston Rodeo.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. and tell us about the power of some kids being able to hit the ground running. Now, if she wants to be a veterinarian, obviously that's undergraduate in the medical school, right? But for other kids, other programs where they can hit the ground running either now or certainly after graduation.
Correct, yes. And so we've had actually a lot of students that have acquired paid jobs after their internship for their certification. They've actually been hired on at their clinics or at other clinics. And I have another student who recently just got hired on at an emergency clinic, and because she likes the change of every 5 minutes of doing something different. So but this is giving these guys a great opportunity that they may not otherwise have.
Yeah, and then to your point of dealing with the mind that you have, we know that in education at first we throw everything at them, but at some point we have to fine tune and say what are their interests, because like I was never going to be a mathematician or an engineer. That was never going to happen, right? But at some point you kind of fine tune it and say, okay, now let's focus on what their true interest and passion is, because that's where they're going to shine.
Absolutely. So our counseling program really focuses on identifying strengths and challenges for students, things they're interested in, and and then helping them select the right courses and the pathway to get them there. And our success is going to be the success of each student in achievement of their dreams and their goals.
Yeah, all right. The idea to come up with the Center for Advanced Careers, how'd that come about? And by the way, I'm gonna have to hold Foxy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to. Hi,
Get you some Foxy
There you
action.
go. I'm gonna get me some Foxy action right here. Bring your pet. What is it, October 22nd is like, you know, make it a great day for a dog, I think. Right. Hi, Foxy.
Well, Foxy
All
will come back.
Yeah.
So the whole preface behind the Center for Advanced Careers, we have multiple realms of areas that the students can study in to get a certification. So every program that's in our building, the students can earn at least one type of certification, if not multiple.
Yeah, which means that they could work and start a career, but they can also work during college if they want to go further.
Exactly.
And in some cases get college credits.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
that is fantastic. Okay, as in the educator realm, what is the best piece of advice that you have for parents?
I would just say that know your children well, work collaboratively with their teachers, with their counselors, really work together to create that pathway that's just right for them.
Yeah, you?
I would say parents, you know, if your kids have a desire, see where it is and help them lead their down that pathway, and it's going to help them to be better kids in the long run, and it's going to help their future as well.
And your best advice for students, because I know a lot of kids get up every morning going, oh, I got to go to school.
You just gotta find what you want to do in life early so you can work towards it.
Yeah, all right.
Assumed.
Thank you very much. Our school district spotlight highlights the great things happening in public schools around the Houston area. Your school district might be next. For more information, log on to gopublicgulfcoast.com. I know what you're doing. You're trying to lick my fingers because you taste those ribs I had earlier, didn't you? Right?